Hi, thanks for clicking on my video. I've received some feedback on previous videos that people preferred to watch them with the audio muted. Granted, royalty-free music is not what it could be, so for today's video I thought I'd try something new and use the audio track to make a few extra points. However, it's likely that the sound of my voice will encourage even more people to watch the video on mute. Obviously, one of the best ways to train for climbing is to go climbing. There is, however, a place for specific training to augment your climbing, and when climbing is not possible. Hand strength and endurance can be a weak point which could hold back your progress or lead to injury. It helps maintain fitness in the off-season as well, or if you can't leave your house for some reason. Ooh, yeah, like a pandemic. In case you haven't heard, we have one of those right now, whatever year this is. So where do we start? The hangboard. You've seen them at indoor climbing gyms. You may have even hung on one once, that time you were totally waiting for that climb to open up. But usually they're the home of the biggest dust bunnies you've ever seen. But now let's approach the hangboard as part of a planned and purposeful fitness program to increase the strength and endurance of the grip. Strength, for our purposes, is the ability to apply greater force through the hands. Increased loading occurs when you pull on the hands to ascend rather than just hang statically. Increased strength is also necessary when the same force must be applied through a smaller portion of the hand. And that should sound familiar. Endurance intuitively makes sense. As two of our points of contact with the wall, our hands need to be able to hang on for an extended period of time. For strengthening, including the grip, we are going to use pull-ups. A good place to start is 4 sets per session, working up to 12 repetitions. Remember, we're emphasizing grip strengthening, so when this goal is reached, change to the next most difficult holds and repeat the process. While pull-ups are a fundamental exercise, this does not mean that they are necessarily a no-brainer. Proper exercise form counts. Ideally, in a beginner program, the board will have holds that will allow hand placement to be slightly further apart than shoulder width. Aim to lead towards the board with the upper sternum. This will place the shoulders in the safest and most effective position. Maintain a baseline of tone throughout the body. During pull-ups and in climbing, this will help apply your generated kinetic energy to the upward movement rather than being absorbed by floppy joints. One criticism of my form in this picture is that my legs are a little too far forward. Dead hangs are the basic hangboard exercise for improving grip endurance. Perform dead hangs after your pull-ups. This allows the pull-ups to contribute to the total volume of exercise required to improve endurance. Begin with 7 holds working to fatigue, being that your hands shake, your grip starts to slip, etc. Working up to 7 times 10 seconds is a good initial goal. Continue to increase your hold times to 7 holds of 30 seconds each before going to a more difficult hand grip hold. A point for proper form on the dead hang. As with the bottom portion of the pull-up, remember to keep your shoulder muscles engaged. Do this by pulling the shoulders down and back as if to create space between your arms and ears. Disengaging the shoulder muscles and passively hanging puts the shoulders at greater risk of injury. A note on hand grip. For beginners, focus on using the open hand grip pictured as it carries the lowest risk of injury. Crimping is occasionally necessary on harder routes, and so it does need to be trained. However, keep in mind that crimping has been associated with injury to the long tendons of the hand as well as the distal interphalangeal joint. So a background of training and experience is needed before beginning to work on hand crimps. So how often should you train? I suggest beginning at 2 sessions per week and working your way up from there. If you're currently climbing, perform fewer sessions per week. Remember, the results that we're hoping for from our training, both climbing and specific strengthening, occur when we rest in between stimulus sessions, so make sure that there's a day between each workout. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope to have another video out soon-ish about strengthening the intrinsic muscles of the hand. Until then, which do you find the least annoying? Royalty-free music from the internet or the sound of my voice? I guess there's always mute. Let me know by leaving a comment.